This is a 2013 Brammo, and it's all electric. And never had an electric bike before, so I thought, well, what the heck, might as well get one. Brammo, if you're not familiar with them, is a battery company. In 2013, they built this motorcycle using their batteries, which are LiPo batteries. And in 2014, it was rebranded as a Victory. Polaris Industries bought the motorcycle part of this, and they rebranded it as a Victory. And then in 2016, they stopped making it because in 2017, they discontinued Victory altogether. So I think it's going to come back maybe as an Indian. I'm not real sure what the company plans on doing with it. But anyway, I grabbed this one just because I thought it'd be kind of cool to have one. And I believe Cummins Diesel bought the Brammo battery division for use in building electric trucks. So between Cummins and Polaris, they dismantled the company, I guess. So this one had 3,100 miles on it. And if you look at the factory tires, you can see they are basically brand new. I can't even see the flat spot in the back tire yet. So 3,100 miles is all that's on it. It's got carbon fiber. That's all factory. Carbon fiber fender, and the headlight enclosure and front fender is all carbon fiber. It's got Brammo brakes on it. So pretty high-end stuff. Inverted shocks on the front end, which they claim are a little bit stiffer, but in general, fork tubes are not an issue. But that's what they claim, so it's kind of the sporty version. And it looks like these are dropped down a little bit. I might want to raise them up. So we'll look at that. I did have to readjust the mirrors. They were kind of sticking straight up, which made it really nice if you wanted to look at your elbows. But as far as looking down the road, they were terrible. So I actually threw them in the vise and bent them more horizontal. And I can kind of see now. So that's an improvement. It's actually quite comfortable. I was really kind of surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it because it is a sport bike, and I'm not being an old coot, I'm not a sport bike guy anymore. But I thought maybe the pegs, I would move them forward to get more of a mid-set. Actually, they're just perfect where they are. And the seat is actually narrow and everything, but it's very comfortable for short trips. So it turned out to be a lot better than I thought. And I've been scooting around town. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's really, really easy to drive. Real nimble. I can pull up the stop signs, and you don't use the clutch. It does have a 6-speed transmission. You basically put it in gear and take off in any gear. It doesn't matter which gear you're in. I've tried 3rd, 4th, and 6th. And in 6th gear, it takes a little longer to get up and running. But, it's 4th gear seems to be all around the best gear. You can go 0 to about 90 in 4th gear. So just scooting around town in 45 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour areas, that's just perfect. And it pulls pretty good. Why they went with a 6-speed transmission, I don't know. A 3-speed would have made a lot more sense. But, it's the same thing with the Goldwings. They went from a 5-speed to a 6-speed. They should have went to a 4-speed, but I guess they do what they got to do. It's got NOS. I don't know. The guy's got a little overflow bottle there. He stuck on it, and it's a NOS energy drink. But looks cool, so I left it. I do have saddlebags coming, which are carbon fiber to match everything else. I've got a bunch of stuff coming for it. Handlebar risers, I'm going to raise up the handlebars 2 inches. This is kind of neat, though. Listen to it. Kind of got space farce going on there, which is pretty cool. What's weird about the dash is you see here it's got the miles per hour. This is the tach. I don't know why they have the tack as the predominant figure on the display. It should be the the speedometer, but it's they throw the tack on there instead, and you don't really even pay attention to the tack. You know, you pretty much know what gear to put it in. Out on the highway, when you're going, you know, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, you run it in 6th gear. So I don't know. It's just one of them things they did. Charging ports here, and it uses a standard J7221 or 772. I don't know what the number is on it. I think it's 7221 is the nomenclature of the plug-in. I've got the charger here under my helmet. This is one of two. I got 2 chargers with the unit. I got a shop manual. I got a bag. I got all kinds of accessories. He had extra wheels for it, but they couldn't ship it because haul bikes won't allow them to put loose items on there. And that's fine. I don't need the extra wheels. Kind of would have been nice to have them, but I just end up selling them anyway, so it didn't really matter. Mileage-wise, I don't know. You know, what I can get as far as a charge. I'm guessing on the highway 70. In town, probably about 120, which is about normal. The big issue with the electric stuff is not the number of miles you can get. The big issue is how long does it take to charge it. This takes about 8 hours to charge if you plug it in a wall outlet, about 3.5 hours if you plug it into a level 2 charger. And there's plenty of them around. There's chargers everywhere. So like I could drive this to Fleet Farm, which is about 30 some miles from here, plug it in, go in the store, shop around a little bit, come out, I would have gained about 15 miles on the charge. So you kind of do little charge ups as you go from place to place. Otherwise you commute, you know, if you're commuting, you know, round trip 60 miles or so, perfect. You know, plugging it at home, your cost to run this thing is going to be about $0.01 a mile. If you're smart, you plug it in at work, and don't plug it in at home, you always plug it in at work, well then your cost of operation is $0. Typically it costs $100 a year if you put on 10,000 miles. So it really, really is economical. Power-wise, pretty good. 0 to 60, I think was about 4.5 seconds, 5 seconds. 5 in that range. I think one guy did a whole bunch of runs and it varied anywhere from 5 to 7, depending on how he was shifting and stuff. So I think you could probably do better if you just left it in 4th gear and cranked her open. I think she'd probably do the best, because it'll do 0 to about 90 in 4th gear. So anyway, I've got my Goldwing here, which 0 to 60 would do about the same. So they're pretty close that way. Of course, this is a very light bike. What's funny about it, it says that the dry weight is 470 pounds. I don't know what the wet weight would be, because it holds 1 quart of antifreeze and 1 quart of oil in the transmission, and then brake fluid. So I suppose it would go up to about 474 pounds wet. Kind of a goofy thing. So anyway, this is going to be my horse around bike. I've got saddlebags coming for it. I've got a nice windshield that kind of fits the design. So that's going on here. Once I get the windshield on and the saddlebags, then it'll be a practical machine. Right now it's just fun horsing around with. Not very practical. You can't haul anything. Wind is, you know, I'm not used to not having a windshield, and any windshield's better than none, even a small one. So I'm kind of anxious to get a windshield on it. But other than that, she's in really good shape. The guy who owned it was one of these chronic oil changer guys. So he went to extremes. He drilled all the bolts on the calipers and everything, and wired everything, which is what we did in the Army to keep bolts from loosening. Instead of Loctite, you drill holes in the heads and you wire them. I don't know why I did that. obviously the wires all got removed. One thing he did do that was pretty slick though, is where the transmission filler is here, he extended it so that it's you can fill it from right here instead of having a funnel and snake it down in there. You know, it's all the way around. I liked it much better than I thought. I wasn't real sure if I was gonna like this thing or if I was going to clean it up and sell it. So I guess I'll be hanging on to it. It's really an upgrade from my electric bicycle, which will only do 39 miles an hour. So I'll keep you up to speed on when I add all my accessories on here.